everybody. Now on Wednesday, I didn't vlog at all yesterday because I didn't really do a lot because we spent most of the day in the hotel. Finally got our clothes to the laundrette. We had a bit of a to-do though because we got there, obviously gave her our clothes and then we went back in 2 hours like she said. But then apparently we'd left tissue in one of the things, so there was a big thing. So she had to clean all that up for us, and then she put it all through the dryer, but it wasn't dry yet. So we essentially had to put it through the dryer again. We came back, got some money, paid her extra for putting it through the dryer again, and then obviously had to go back for the clothes. But at least they're clean now, and it was a lot of clothes to be fair. It was like 3 plastic bags worth. So it's all good, and it's all been properly cleaned and not our botched job of cleaning in the shower. And also I uploaded my first video yesterday, only, you know, what date is it? Only 10 days in. Only 10 days in. But hopefully I'll get to do the next one quicker. So today we woke up at 7:30ish. I think I was awake at 7 anyway, after I'd had my 7 hours sleep. We're on a tour today. We went to, well, we didn't know we'd get there because again we were waiting around in the foyer for the driver. The driver rang the hotel. They said it would be another 15 minutes, no problem. We were there anyway. And then half an hour than what he'd planned to be there for 9:15. And then 9:15 came round and we were like, driver's still not here. So we asked the receptionist to then ring the driver back, and the driver was like, we've had an issue, but it will be 5 minutes. He did turn up in the end, thank goodness. And we finally got to our tour. Today we went to Koh Phi Phi. We were on speedboats today, not longtail boats. I don't believe they do a trip on a longtail boat out to these islands. I took some travel tablets, and thank God I did, because there was 3 people that threw up on the first leg. We started from Phuket, which is where we're staying, and we're about here, and the pier was here, so it was only like a 15-minute trip to get there. Then the first leg we went to Mayton Island. It's just underneath Phuket. Just a private island, like you can't go docking there, you have to ask the permission, obviously you can't swim there, blah, 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 whatever. And then the next stop was, I think, one of the longest stretches, which was to get to Phi Phi Lay. So Koh Phi Phi is actually in 2 separate parts. So we stopped off here first, and we stopped off at Maya Bay. all. But you can't swim in the beach in the water. You can't really go too far out. You can dip your toes in. And to get there, oh my goodness, the queues were horrific because you can't swim on the beach either, and you can't dock there. So you have to dock around the other side, which isn't very far, but feels like ages when you're stuck in a queue behind every other tour group going. It was just queue. And there's only sort of one way you can go. They've made like a path that you follow, sort of, that just takes you to it and then back again. The whole thing was just queuing the whole time we were there, just queuing. We got to the beach, dipped our toes in, wandered back, and then was queuing again. And then they took us around the bottom of Phi Phi Lake to Lo Sama Bay, and this was where I went swimming. It was lovely. It was lovely and calm and peaceful, and all the tour boats sort of congregated like round the bay, and then you could jump in and sort of swim behind, because obviously the middle was more for when the boats come in. On top of the speedboat there was a couple of canoes. What do you call them? Are they paddle boards? I think they were paddle boards, which they did bring down for us, and we did have a try. I stood up, Steve stood up, and then probably half a minute later we were in the sea. It might have been Pele Lagoon. Then all hell broke loose because we parked up to Viking Cave. I'd put my phone away by this point because it had started to rain. But Viking Cave is just a cave that they found remains of a Viking ship in. Now it's protected because there's lots of birds' nests in there, so they don't let people go in it, but you can just see it from the outside. But then our tour guide sort of made an on-the-spot plan to let us snorkel there because it had started raining and she didn't know whether we'd be allowed to do it at the next place because of rain. I gave it a go, but I'd absolutely bricked myself because the storm was then coming and we'd gotten in and it was all sort of dark and I'd never snorkeled before, and then I put my head down and obviously that was the moment that a big wave had decided to come over me, so then obviously I couldn't breathe and it was just dark and I didn't like it, so I got out. And Steve continued. He came back round where we were meant to go, sort of to the quieter side, which was a bit more sheltered. He said he saw a really, really big flatfish, or just a really fat fish, and some coral was apparently down there as well. Then we weren't there very long because, well, I don't know if they'd planned to stay there very long or not, but it was raining by this point, like chucking it down. So then they took us to, they take us to lunch, and then so then they took us to lunch in Phi Phi Don, which is the bigger island at the top, which is where you can stay. And they took us to Ton Sai Bay, which was where we parked, and then we went to lunch. And by then, my God, it was absolutely torrential. I was just very cold and wet. We stopped off for lunch. We made it because it wasn't straight at the pier. It was sort of a bit further into the village, and it was a buffet lunch. It was nice. There was rice, chicken curry, stir-fried chicken. I had some potatoes today. It was wonderful. I miss potatoes. I was telling Steve earlier that I really miss a roast dinner and that I just really fancied one. We thought we'd go outside and have a little venture, but then it started to rain again, so we went back in. And then we saw our tour guide come out, so then we basically just followed her back to the ship. The next stop was Monkey Beach. Unfortunately, there wasn't any monkeys. Our last stop, Kai Island. It's the closest one to Phuket. It was a nice little island, but by then it was quite grey. It was sort of raining on and off, and I was cold and sodding wet. And we did go into the sea for a little while. We saw a little fish, and then we had a little wander. There wasn't a whole lot to see. There was just vendors selling the usual rubbish and some nice smelling food. We came back, boarded the boat, and then we made our way back. As soon as we got in, jumped in the shower, and we've just been out for dinner. We went to just one of the local eateries just down the road. We're just knackered now. I'm ready for a good old sleep. And we also nipped into a dessert parlour, which was lovely. We had deep fried ice cream, which was fantastic. We had a chocolate chip one and a coconut one, and the bowls are delightful. We're probably going to fall asleep soon, so we'll probably just put Breaking Bad on because we're still making our way through that. We're not planning to do a lot tomorrow. If the weather's still good in the morning when we get up, we're going to go up. There's like a little, I think it's like a little hill walk just up the road, so I think we're going to go up there. I'm tempted to get my nails done tomorrow, but I'm not sure. They're just getting over when I peeled them off. So they're quite healthy again now. And I've just cut them because I kept scratching Steve. Yeah, that's about it. If not, we're planning to do stuff at the weekend, so I'll speak to you then. Good.
It's just a winky.
Oh, no.
It's just a winky.
It's really freaking me out. There's room for improvement.